Hi guys, good to see you all here through this video. You know what, nowadays I am getting a lot of queries about the tips to clear this IC38 insurance exam. And as the title screen says, in this video I am going to give you some quick insights about this exam. And cracking this exam is all about following three simple strategies, and it's a four-step roadmap process. So before that, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do it. This channel is completely dedicated to improve the financial literacy and investment awareness. Well, come on guys, let us talk about those three simple strategies and four steps. And what's the is given, but it's not only the answer, it's given with some more options. Your job is to pick up the correct one. So you don't have to get the answer for the asked question. Already answer is there. Your job is only to pick up the right answer. So which is very popularly called as MCQ, multiple choice question, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. And every question carries 1 mark. And how much percentage to be scored to clear this exam? It's 35%. So 35% in the sense 35 marks for 100, 35 on 100. But the maximum marks can be scored in this exam is only 50. Since we are going to take up this exam only for 50 marks. Then what is the how much mark to be scored to clear this exam if it is 35 percentage? 35 on 100, that is nothing but 17.5 on 50. So to clear this exam you have to score 17.5 marks, and there is no way to score 0.5 mark or lose 0.5 mark in this exam. So this number had been rounded it off to 18 marks. But what is 18 on 50 in terms of percentage? It would be 36%. Yeah. You may think this is unfair. So the asked threshold is 35 percentage, but indirectly I am asked to score 36 percentage. So that is the reason why, just to balance it, there is a relaxation. What is the relaxation over here? Even if you score 17 marks, you are done. You are through with this exam. But what is 17 marks out of 50? Which is 34%. So now it is favoring to our side. So even if you score 34%, you are done with this exam. Okay. Now what's the how this exam is going to be? I will just give you the complete scenario on what it would be. The moment you enter the exam center, you would be given a dedicated system. So and you can find the timer started running over there. It is 59.59.59. So you can just see what is the balance time left over when you refer to this timer, and you will have the scroller bar given over here, and this is just only to move the pages up and down. Since in the main screen you might be having around 5 to 6 questions, and if you want to go back to the next subsequent questions, you have to just scroll up the screen, and you can come back by scrolling down. And the next thing to be noted here is there is submit button. What for is this button? Just to tell the system that you are done with the exam. But my request to you is don't use this button at all in the exam. There are a few logical reasons for that. I'll just tell you the one reason right away. Before getting into this exam, you might be taking some mock test, and some of the mock tests, the system is created in such a way where you have to submit after answering each and every question. I answer a question, then I have to go for submission, then only I'll be allowed to see the next question. This is the process. This is the way some of the mock test platforms are created. But in your final exam, you are allowed to hit this button only once. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm telling don't use this button at all. Allow the timer to hit 0.0.0, then the system will complete the task of submission. It will go for auto submission mode. Yeah, okay. Now let us talk about the question pattern. As I told you, there are around 50 questions, and there is little difference between any other government competitive exam of the same kind and this exam. What's the difference? When you talk about any like a conventional competitive exam, for the asked question, you might be having 4 options given. When you get into the option, it might be like difficult for you to pick up the correct answer, because all the given option might look incorrect most of the times. But in our exam, in this exam, in IC38 exam, what would happen, once you read the question, when you get into the options, you will find all the options could be correct. And sometimes, you believe me or not, 2 or 3 options may be perfectly correct to the asked question. But as per the system, it would be marked that only one option could be correct. Then how will I pick up the option, sir? So even though if you find 2 or 3 answers are correct, try to figure out the one which is most appropriate to the asked question. Okay. Might be a little confusing for you right now. I'll give an example. You will understand. Definitely this question will not come in the exam. This is only for the illustration purpose. Let us assume the question is capital city name of Karnataka. Yeah. And 4 options are given. So these are all called as radio buttons, and for all the questions, the radio button would be active in the last option. And what is the last option? It is not answered, which means it is not yet answered. So technically speaking, what you have to do is you have to just bring this radio button, bring this the dot in any one of the given 4 options. You have to bring it up. And if only one radio button could be active and this. So now let us talk about the available option. The first option is BANGALORE, and the second option is BANGALURU, and the third option is BENGALORE, and the fourth option is BENGALURU. If the same question is asked in any other competitive exam, the option could be like this: Bangalore, Mangalore, Mysore and Mandya. But look what happens here. When you have a mild look of it, you will find all the 4 options could be correct. And when you get into the detailed analysis also, you may find there are 2 options very perfectly correct. Option 1 and the 4th option, option A and option D. But as per the system, only one answer is correct. So which is the most appropriate one? The 4th option is the most appropriate one. So there is nothing wrong in calling this city as Bangalore. It's not an offense. But as per the books of the house, it's updated as what? Bengaluru. So system wants you to give the most appropriate option. So that's the reason why here you have to select what? Bengaluru, the 4th option. And in our exam, most of the questions are like this only. So how to answer these type of questions? For that, we have few strategies. As I told you in the beginning of this video, There are three strategies, and let us understand those three strategies and try to follow this to crack this exam. The first basic ground rule here is spend some time and understand the question very clearly. Okay, don't just have a mild look of the question and try to jump into the option. So now comes the strategy number one. Sir, I read, understood, conceived the question very clearly. Tell me what next. Try to get the answer from your own head. Don't look into the option. Options will take you into a different direction. It might confuse you. So for the asked question, check whether you have the answer readily available inside your head. If this question is asked to me, I know very well the correct option would be Bengaluru. What would I prefer to tell is, sir, please don't give me any options. I know very well the correct answer for this question is Bengaluru. So go and check where this Bengaluru is and mark it. So this strategy is called as pickup strategy. Yeah. And this is called as pickup strategy. Okay. Now you cannot expect to know the answer readily available inside your head for all the 50 questions. There are few questions you may not have the answer. Now comes the strategy number two. I read, understood, conceived the question very clearly, and I don't have the answer readily available with me. What should I do now? So now there go. You have to just take out the help of the option and try to figure out which would be the most appropriate one. Yeah, so this is the second type of questions and where we are using the second strategy. And this strategy is very popularly called as selection strategy. So what is selection strategy? I don't have the answer readily available with me. That is the reason why I am taking help of the option to figure out the correct one. Yeah. Now, there are some questions where you may be totally confused after getting into the given options, after going through the given options. Now, this is the time where we have to talk about the third strategy. So what is the third strategy? Before talking about the third strategy, I want to give you some more quick tips. The first one is, don't leave any questions unanswered for any reason, come what may. The reason being, there is no negative marks over here. If you mark it correct, you will get 1. If it is not, you are not going to lose anything. That question would be neutralized to 0. So it's always an opportunity for you to mark at least any one of the options. It could be correct sometimes, it may not be sometimes. But if you follow the strategy number 3 religiously, it's like your lifeline definitely would help you out to clear this exam. It gives the cutting edge. What is this third strategy? If you don't get the correct answer, don't get into the cell. Don't be panic. Just shift your focus. So what I mean here, if you don't get the correct answer, shift your focus towards the incorrect ones, the wrong ones, which you feel may not be relevant to the asked question. I will just give you an example, and we will just get the case study analysis with this question only. So, sir, I really don't know the answer for this question, but since it is advisable to answer this question, now if I answer, I will go for the random selection. So in this random selection, what you will do is, you will select 1 among 4. So what is 1 on 4 in terms of percentage? It is 25%, which is, since this 25% is less than the asked run rate, asked threshold limit of 35%, we will be marked fail. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you go for the random selection, the probability of getting the correct answer is only 25%. So we are going to funnel it down through this third strategy. What is the third strategy? As I told you earlier, If you don't get the correct answer, don't be panic. Shift your focus towards the incorrect ones. Now let me do it. Sir, in this question, the two options are correct. Which are the ones? The first option and the fourth option. And I feel definitely the second option is not correct. So let me just keep it aside from the list. What are you doing here? You are just funneling it down. You are just minimizing the option. So when I take the second option out of this, so how many options are left over for me to mark one? Only 3 options. Now, even in this 3 option also it is difficult for you to pick up one, but still you are going with the random selection of one. What is the probability of getting the correct answer? It could be 33.33%. So what is this 33.33% when I round it off to the next bigger number? What will you get is 34%. 34% is nothing but 17 marks. 17 marks is marked as pass. So you are coming closer to the finishing line, not only by selecting the correct answer, even also by eliminating the wrong ones. So that is the reason why this strategy is called as elimination strategy. So the third strategy is what? Elimination strategy. Now look at the good part of this game. If you could able to figure out one more incorrect option, so now you will be left over with only 2 options to select one. Now even if you go for the random selection, the probability of getting the correct answer would be 50%. Still you are coming close and close to the finish line. Yeah. Okay. Now look at the funniest part of this game. You don't know the correct answer, but already you could able to trace out 2 wrong options. Now if you could able to figure out the third wrong option also, the job is done. Though it's in a different way, but ultimately the job is done. So without knowing the correct answer, you can land up getting the correct answer. So follow this strategy religiously, and cracking this exam, it's not going to be a big task for you. So what is the first strategy? Pickup strategy. Sir, I read the question, I know the answer, let me go and check where is my answer, mark it and just come out of it. What is the selection strategy? Sir, I understood this question very clearly, but I don't have the answer readily available. So that's the reason why I'm taking help of the option. If you get the correct one, no problem, mark it and come out. Even if you could not able to pick up the correct one, just shift your focus to follow the elimination strategy. And any which ways, whatever might be the reason, please do not leave any questions unanswered. Yeah? Now let us talk about the resource allocation. Before that, I want to tell you one thing. This exam is all about concepts and common sense. There is no data points question. What are those data points questions? Like what is the time now? And when was our independence? Who is the father of our nation? All these type of questions or data points questions where you have to memorize a set of alphabets or set of numbers would give the answer. But this exam, it's like a kind of technical and kind of analytical, but it's very easy to clear. So this exam is all about checking your understanding towards the concepts of wealth management. So what I'm trying to say here is try to understand the concepts very well, and having those concepts understood, any number of questions related to the concept is asked, you would be in a position to answer those correctly. So it is all about case studies kind of and concept oriented questions with a bit of common sense attached to it. That's it. So it's a combination of concepts and the common sense. Don't worry about the concepts. There are few concepts. There are around 10 to 12 concepts. And I'll give you the description and I'll share you the link in the description box, you can use that links and help me, you can just help yourself to learn those concepts also. Having those concepts understood, only you will get three types of questions. Answer is known, answer can be taken if the options are given, or through the elimination mode. Yeah, and I will just tell you the roadmap. I'll give you the roadmap also to prepare for this exam. Before that, let us talk about the resource planning. Let us talk about the time allocation. So what you have to do in this 60 minutes? So the total time given to me here is 60 minutes. Divide this 60 minutes into three equal parts. 20 minutes, 20 minutes, and 20 minutes each. The first 20 minutes should be spent on strategy number 1, and the second 20 minutes would be spent on strategy number 2, and the third 20 minutes should be spent on strategy number 3, elimination strategy. And if your preparation is as per the roadmap which I am going to discuss now, definitely you will get 15 questions coming in this bracket, which means you would be having the answer known to at least 50 questions as per strategy number 1, and you might get 15 questions to follow the strategy number 2, and you may get 20 questions to follow the strategy number 3. Okay, now what is the total time spent here? 60 minutes. How many strategies followed? 3 strategies. And how many questions answered? 50 questions answered. And how to execute this, I will tell you quickly. Start with question number 1 along with the timer when it started, and just go down, answer the question, all the question quickly, which you are very clear about that, and make sure you should be at the 50th question when the timer hits 20th minute. So the first 20 minutes you start from the question number 1 and you are at the question number 50, and 21st minute you should be back to the square 1, which means come back to the question number 1, and now you will be reading all the unanswered 35 questions, right? So your clarity towards the understanding of the question would be far better now, and this would be helpful for you to go through the strategy number 1, and you will clear 15 questions. And by the time, make sure that the timer should show you the third 20 minutes. You are done with 40th minute. Which question you are in? 50th question. Again, back to the square 1 on the 41st minute, and again browse through, and this time you would be reading all the unanswered 20 questions for the third time. So the clarity of understanding about the question would be far better now, and this is the juncture where it would be helpful for you to follow the third strategy, which is elimination strategy. Yeah, if you follow this strategy religiously, again I am telling you, there is no way you would fail in this exam. Now let us talk about the roadmap quickly. What is the roadmap? As I told you very clearly, this is just a 4-step roadmap. Yeah, just 3 strategies and 4-step roadmap. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just leave the first step blank and we will talk about that later. The second step is, I'll be sharing you the link of the study material in the description box. Pick it up. There is a crisp and easy to navigate material over here. Go through the material, and you don't have to excuse your brain to understand the material. Just have a friendly navigation. Some concept could be easily understandable and digestible. Understand this. Some concepts are not don't have to worry. You just pause it through. So study material, go through the study material. Then you will be given a question bank, and even practice tests are available. All the relevant links are posted in the description box. Make use of it. Yeah? And I have around a collection of 500 questions, and most of the questions are repeated for this exam, in this exam. And this question comes with like the 4 options and the key to clear this also. And the last step is you have to take lot of mock test. Again, I will just give you the links in the description box to take the mock test also. Make sure your score should not fall below 60% in at least 3 consecutive mock tests. 60%, sorry. In at least 3 consecutive mock tests. So this is the time you are ready to take up the final exam. Then just intimate the management guys in the insurance company to initiate your scheduling process. Yeah. Now comes the first step. Sir, what is this? The first step is left blank. So this subject is not new. We are not going to learn something like rocket science or molecular science. Already we knew bits and pieces about the subject. It's all about wealth management, which talks about the cash planning, investment planning, insurance planning, retirement planning, tax planning, and estate planning. That's all. So all these 6 things are not new to us. Already we knew about them, but not as per the books. There is something called a society's teaching and the book teaching. So we learned all these things through our society teaching, could be from my neighbor or from my dad or brother, whatever it is. So those concepts are already seeded and fixed concrete in our mind. But as per the book, the concept might not be correct as per your understanding. So this study material might confuse you. You might get the feeling that this study material is confusing me. So that is the reason why I am advising you get these basic concepts understood. And I am just teaching you this basic concept also, and I'll put across the link for that also in the description box. So get this 13 to 14 concepts thoroughly understood. Then get into the material. Don't blindly go into the material. You will be totally confused. So I will help you out to get this concept logically, conceptually, and analytically understood. Then get into the material and practice that question bank and take the mock test. Many number of mock tests would help you out to clear this exam. So the focus should be on this 12 to 13 concepts. Yeah. So this is just 4-step process, and this is going to be the roadmap to clear this exam. And I'm telling you out of my experience, individuals who have followed this 3 strategy and this 4-step process roadmap, most of them had cleared this exam without any difficulty. Yeah. So with this, I will wind up this session. And thank you so much for watching this. And any queries, you can just post it, and all the relevant links would be posted in the description box. You can use this. And thank you so much once again. And please subscribe to this video for all the further updates, and click the bell icon to receive the notification on my video launch. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. See you in the next video.